Man, I want to share a story with y'all. So I had posted that Lucid video and I was talking about just branding and representation. And so the funny part about that video is that so when I first walk in the Lucid dealership, if you ever been car shopping, niggas judge you. That's what they do, right? But granted, that shit was funny because here we are at a luxury dealership and I instantly, wherever I go somewhere, whether I'm in my Scion or whatever I'm driving, I always park down the street because I don't want you to classify me. I want you just to treat me how you gonna treat me. Don't code switch. Just treat me. If you're gonna treat me good, treat me good. If you're gonna treat me bad, treat me bad. But you're not gonna judge me based off what I'm driving. So I asked the dude, can I do the review? He was all standoffish, him and the other guy that was next to him, right? I'm like, bet. So then I had a question about the car. So he had walked over. So he walks over, he answers the question. So he asks me, he says, so what do you currently drive right now? And I replied, I said, well, today I pulled up in the Model X, which if you look down the street, it's that blue one down the street. So he looked, he was like, oh, you're in an X? Oh my, how do you like it? That's kind of like our rivals. I'm like, oh, I like it. It's cool, it's cool. It's a car. It gets me to A to B. So I'm like, just downplaying it like it is what it is, because it is. At the end of the day, that shit don't make or break me. But I see now that I'm in the X, you want to talk, you want to have a conversation. Yeah, bro. So, well, this car does this, and compared to the X, this is kind of this. And I'm like, bro, and this is why I feel like women are taking over, right? Because niggas have became groupies, bro. So the flip side of that is this next review I'm about to drop. And I just want to say, man, shout out to Jamar Daniels because, instantly from me walking in the dealership, how he greeted me, asked me if I needed help, just the energy was on 10. And it's just sad because we talked about that. I told him about the loser and he was like, man, I've been in this game 15 years, man. And I can honestly say the last 4 or 5 years, man, it's gotten worse. Even some of my employees, I have to check them because they treat people. He telling me, he said when he first came in the game, it's a quick story. It was this old couple and they walked in a dealership and nobody wanted to talk to him. But come to find out, they had just won a lotto for $5 million and they could have afforded any car on the lot, but nobody even knew that. But they treated them psychologically, everybody looked like, man, they can't afford this shit. And it's kind of like he learned then. He said that was one of his first sales. And he said he learned then you never judge a book by its cover. And that's one thing, man, I used to love being in my truck because I used to love greeting and talking to people. It was never about a fucking sale, bro. It was about just courting somebody and having a conversation. And I feel like nowadays, you know what I'm saying, it's weird. That's what I'm saying. And you really feel that with niggas, bro. Men. It's like men don't even be men no more. It's kind of like they looking at other men like, what do you have? And that's a female trait. That's a feminine trait. You know what I'm saying? Don't switch up because you see me in an X. That shit don't really even, that shit, man, that's what I'm saying, man. This shit wild out here, man. But I just thought that was crazy. But this next video I'm about to drop is a banger. I'm only getting better at this shit. And I'm starting to grow I already knew I was going to love it because I always been in the cars. But I fuck with this shit. And now that I'm older, I understand, man, why my dad used to drive around this city and be all through the city doing doing what he was doing, but have a wad full of cash, but be in a fucking bucket. You know why? Because you couldn't judge him. You couldn't judge him. He's be 20,000, 30,000 and pull out nothing but hundreds like this, giving money to the kids, but be in a bucket. And I get it now, bro. That's probably why I moved away. Because I get it. Because when you coming in a certain way, niggas gonna treat you, and it's like that shit is flawed, bro. Don't treat me like that because you see me in that. I walked in the dealership, y'all niggas looked at me and start I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? It's bro, I get it. But I don't get it because that shit corny. I ain't never been no nigga like that. I'm going to treat everybody the same way until I see they treat me different. And that's what I did to him. I'm like, man, I ain't want to talk to that nigga after that. That's why the video was so short because I was kind of done with it. But I was like, nah, I came here to, to complete the mission. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. But I'm big on that. The niggas that represent your brand, whether you at the top or the bottom or the dealership or whatever the case may be, You know what I'm saying? That's a representation of your brand. And like, you just never know. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could have been a customer that really wanted a Lucid vehicle. And at that point, seeing just how that energy is, that shit was whack. So, but that's what's cool about doing this, because that was the first experience, and I've done a couple now. So that was my first experience of like filming it and feeling like that. And I was like, nah, bro. And I just go back to like this code switching and judging niggas based off what you think they got. That's a lame ass. That's just lame. That's lame. That's why the world is fucked up, because everything that became trendy is lame. If you think about it, like, so I'll never forget this. Was at the beach, and just selling, set up. Everything was set up at the truck. Seven was there, and Lika was there. So dude walked up to me, and he just started looking at the hats, having a conversation. And so he looked kind of dirty, dingy. You know what I'm saying? You didn't look clean at all. I don't want to call somebody homeless, because I don't even know what that looks like. But he definitely looked like he wasn't clean. Just real whatever. So long story short, Lika and Seven walk back, and they looking at me crazy because I'm having a full conversation with this dude. Like, we just talking about life. So afterwards, Seven's like, "Who's that, Dad?" And I was like, "Oh, this is a guy I just met, just was talking to." And Lika was like, "Yeah, like, what was going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like, that's what, I just treat him like a human. Like, at the end of the day, even though if he was homeless or not, like, my whole thing was, a longer nigga ain't drunk and outraged and fucking up my shit, I ain't tripping. We can have a conversation, a dialogue. I'm going to treat you like a human. Shit, I don't know your situation, but I do know everybody go through ups and downs. I've been that person myself. I've been to prison, got out, was at my lowest, bounced back. So I'm not going to treat you no differently. And so I had a conversation with Seven about that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, Seven, you a female. So if you see something like that, I do want you to be a little bit standoffish, because you're a female at the end of the day, and different motives could be playing. But me being a man, I can have another man conversation with another man and not feel like this because he ain't got what I got, or this and that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to belittle him. And, this is life, bro. And it's like, I be feeling like that's why this shit is all fucked up right now, bro. Because you feel that energy when you walk in certain places. Niggas is everybody just on some other shit.